I still remember the exact moment my mother-in-law's face turned completely white. The lawyer had just opened Grandma Rose's will, and everyone in the room was smiling, expecting a huge inheritance. Then he said my name. Suddenly, the room went silent. My sister-in-law dropped her coffee. My brother-in-law started cursing under his breath, and my mother-in-law looked at me like she'd just seen a ghost. What they didn't know was that Grandma had left behind something far more powerful than money. My name is Emma, and for 3 years I felt like a servant in my husband's family. No matter how much I worked, it was never enough. I cooked every meal, cleaned the house, ran errands, and somehow still got criticized daily. My husband Jake always told me to ignore it and keep the peace. Meanwhile, his mother and sister treated me like I existed only to make their lives easier. I kept telling myself things would eventually get better, but they never did. Everything changed when Grandma Rose became seriously ill. While the rest of the family visited for a few minutes just to look good, I spent hours with her every week. I'd bring her meals, help with her medication, and simply sit with her when she felt lonely. Sometimes she would tell me stories about her younger days. Other times, we would just watch old movies together. I never expected anything in return. I genuinely cared about her, and she became the closest thing I had to family in that house. When Grandma passed away 6 months later, everyone suddenly became interested in her estate. Family members who barely called her while she was alive were now arguing about who deserved what. Listening to them made me uncomfortable. I didn't care about the money. I was grieving someone I truly loved. But it became obvious that everyone else was focused on one thing, the inheritance. A few weeks later, we all gathered at the lawyer's office for the reading of the will. My mother-in-law looked extremely confident, almost like she already knew she was getting everything. Then the lawyer began reading. To everyone's shock, Grandma had left her house and most of her estate to me. For a second, I thought I'd misheard him. But before anyone could react, the lawyer pulled out a handwritten letter from Grandma. In it, she explained that I was the only person who had shown her genuine kindness without expecting anything in return. The room exploded. My mother-in-law accused me of manipulating an old woman. My sister-in-law called me a gold digger. Then the lawyer revealed the final surprise. Grandma had installed security cameras in her home during her last year. She had saved dozens of recordings. The videos showed family members mocking her illness, complaining about taking care of her, and openly discussing what they would do with her money after she died. Every accusation they made against me instantly fell apart. The biggest shock came from my husband. For the first time in our marriage, he admitted that his family had treated me horribly. He apologized and said he should have stood up for me years ago, but by then, the damage was done. I had spent 3 years feeling invisible while he watched it happen. A few months later, I moved into Grandma's house and started over. Today, my life is better than I ever imagined. Sometimes I sit on the porch and think about Grandma's final gift. It wasn't the house or the money. It was the lesson she taught me. The people who quietly show kindness are often worth more than those who loudly claim to be family. CTR title ideas. My husband's family humiliated me for years, then Grandma's will changed everything. They treated me like a maid until one line in Grandma's will destroy them. My in-laws laughed at me until Grandma exposed their secret. The whole family wanted Grandma's money, then she chose me. I was the family servant until Grandma had the last word.